Here, the Joker mouth. You have some teeth, things like that, and you have an eye, and things like that.
Lou believes that some of these photographs capture naturally occurring electromagnetic forces which spirits manipulate to show themselves on camera.
What we're looking for the most part, is when we start to get figures. When we start to get figures, this is what we call it as a ghost. That's when it starts to get bizarre. What is it? This is my favorite photograph, okay, which basically I say shows the existence of life after death, okay?
Wow.
Is it paranormal? I say damn right it is. And if you could, Darren, if you could stand up and take a look at that as close as you can. Okay. Do you see it yet?
No, I'm struggling to see a face there. Is it face on, as it were? It's not.
It's a very human face. It's a man's face, looking to the right down. There's the forehead. There's the eye socket, the nose, the lips, the chin with the cleft in it. Right there.
Oh, yes, a profile. Sorry, I was looking for a straight on.
No, that's fine.
Yes. As I'm looking at it, all that seems to separate something that's taken to be genuinely paranormal from just might be is how much of a shape that it makes. And of course that's tricky, isn't it? Because there's in the middle there's an ambiguous area because, as you know, we're all wired to find faces and shapes and things because that's how we are. So Lou sees this photo as absolute proof of the existence of ghosts. But is there an alternative explanation to Lou's key photo? Rather than being a ghost, our minds could be making shapes out of the mist. I can see some stairs, a parrot, a slug, and another face. But Lou isn't seeing what I'm seeing.
It's a masterpiece of spiritual photography as far as I'm concerned, because when you look at it and you see the detail in it, I don't think nature could provide that kind of detail. I mean, yeah, I wish everybody in the world could believe the things that I've seen, you know what I mean, and experienced. And it's hard knowing that, and walking around with that information, and knowing that, yeah, there'll still be people out there that won't believe you because they think it's just a story.
Lou certainly believes his photographs represent clear evidence of the existence of ghosts. But from my point of view, it's only if you already believe in ghosts that the evidence makes sense. So in Lou's world, I think, and the world of the believers, there seem to be two options they talk about. Either somebody's just playing tricks and they're charlatans, or it's all real. And what they don't seem to really embrace is this huge middle area of people fooling themselves. I think it's quite revealing that they don't sort of embrace that at all. Has Lou convinced himself about his strongest piece of evidence? Is there another explanation to the man writhing on the bed other than the belief he's possessed by demons? I'm seeing someone who may be able to offer a radically different point of view. His name is Professor Michael Sperling.
I'm an epilepsy specialist, a neurologist who specializes in treating people with epilepsy, and I work at Thomas Jefferson University in Philadelphia. I have no personal experience with exorcisms. I'm a scientist and therefore skeptical.
Hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done.
This is the priest. I play Professor Sperling the footage of the man undergoing the exorcism.
What I deal with is real, not...
What you showed me is a textbook example of a pseudo-seizure or psychogenic seizure.
Okay.
Typically, individuals who have these have some underlying stress problem, emotional difficulty, and one might view it psychologically almost as an escape avoidance type of behavior. The real world is too stressful, and the patient withdraws and pulls into a separate world.
Now you have some footage of some other seizures which are just as...
I could show you a psychogenic seizure, or pseudo-seizure as it's called, virtually identical to that. So this is a video of a patient being monitored for seizures. You can see the prominent arching of the back, the shaking of the body, the shaking of the limbs. Classic finding of a psychogenic seizure, or as it's known as pseudo-seizure.
It's sort of exactly what we've just seen, but without the exorcist.
Right.
watching those movements and those arching of the back, you can imagine how, if you were really believing in what was going on from a spiritual point of view, how you could mistake it for momentary levitation.
Absolutely, and the violence of the movements is such that it's hard to believe for the uninitiated that something from outside might not be producing something like this.
In the world of science, this woman is having a non-epileptic, stress-related fit. On the other hand, Lou believes this is a man taken over by a demon.
What you saw was the classic signs of going under. People can say that it might have been some kind of medical phenomena or whatever it may have been. The guy had been checked out medically. He had no seizures. He had no allergic reactions to medicine. The guy was very healthy. You know, he demonstrated the classic signs of going under.
The first time I saw that possession footage, the exorcism of sorts, the emergency exorcism, that footage was so disturbing, horrifying. It was like something from a modern horror film. But when you took it out of the context of the exorcism, it wasn't frightening or creepy. It was just somebody having this episode. For me, it's becoming clear that Lou's evidence for the existence of ghosts can have other explanations.
Is the entity inside of this house a human spirit?
Could Lou's recorded voices of the dead be something else? EVPs are the cornerstone of Lou's case that ghosts exist, and he wants to convince me of their validity. Lou's playing me his greatest EVP hits, selected from the thousands he's captured over the years. But I'm having trouble even understanding them.
Well, this is an example of, you know, the type of EVPs that you can get.
Are you a human spirit? Have you ever lived?
Any idea what the third one is?
No.
Okay. This one here, it clearly, you can hear it say no.
Are you a human spirit? Have you ever lived?
Yes, asshole. Jared?
No, I don't think that is yes, asshole at all.
There are people that automatically hear this stuff.
Are you a human spirit?
It said no, which was an answer to a question.
Something dead?
It's saying something.
Oh no, I just thought it was a general roar of disapproval. This is definitely becoming a matter of interpretation. To me, it just sounds like little bursts of noise.
What is your name?
What is your name? What is your name?
It says this name almost 3 times. Matthew. Matthew.
If you stop once you've said it, and then if you stop listening for it too hard, then you can hear it. I don't know how I should distinguish it. I'm really hearing it and it's really there, or I'm just imagining it.
Well,
you can imagine something very convincingly.
Sure, you can imagine all kinds of stuff.
That's also about being more suggestible as well, potentially, isn't it? That could just be that they're...
Suggestive means it's not there, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Okay?
Or that they're
but
more,
when it is there, then what is it?
Beginning of EVP number 9.
Lou certainly possesses an unshakable belief that these are the words of ghosts. But the time has come to question that belief, and I'm a little nervous since I'm not sure how Lou's going to take it.
EVPs are static. I'm like, well then how the fuck does static talk? How does static say no? How does static say yes? How does static say the fucking person's name?
I've been spending the last few days with ghost hunter Lou Gentile, who's clocked up almost 13,000 hours helping the haunted and possessed of America, without charging a dime. Lou's put a great deal of passion into showing me what he says is actual physical proof of the existence of ghosts.
Literally rose up like this and slammed into the refrigerator.
But for me, there are non-paranormal explanations for much of what I've seen and heard so far.
Bless all the children that shall enter this
And as much as I've come to like Lou, I feel duty-bound to bring these to his attention. Lou bases much of his belief in ghosts on electronic voice phenomena, or EVPs, which he claims are the voices of the dead.
Why do you keep bothering Judy? Why do you keep
I found someone